Hi guys, welcome to IIM Kozhikode series. So today we are going to see um, paragraph questions like fill in the paragraph and para jumbles. Okay, so what are these fill in the passage questions? In the previous video, you must have seen that we have discussed about para summaries and para completions, right? So this is something, see, in para completion what happens is generally you are asked to decipher what is the last line of the passage would be, but in these kinds of questions what happens is you will be given a blanket between the passage. Okay, so let's see. Okay, it's within the passage and you have to think logically and choose the right answer. You have to ensure that the answer has flow and the tone same as the passage, and also it fills the logical gap. Okay, so again read the entire passage carefully, understand the theme, the tone, the direction. Okay, identify the function of the missing line. Is it linking two ideas? Is it introducing something? Is it explaining something? See, even the starting lines can be left blank, we don't know, right? So is it introducing or explaining or concluding, right? And there are always some transition clues, the pronouns used, the topics used in the options. Okay, yeah, eliminate things that are irrelevant or contradictory or repetitive. Okay, something that's already stated. Okay, try to eliminate such options. Yeah, now let's just see the types. Sometimes introductory line is missing, sometimes the linking sentence is missing, which generally bridges two contrasting or similar ideas. Sometimes the clarifying line is missing, generally it explains the statement with an example or details. For example, a concept is introduced, okay, then there is a blank, and then further discussion is happening. Maybe this blank actually fills with the detailing of the concept introduced in the previous line. Okay, that might happen. Then you have a concluding line. This is very similar to para completion, right? Let's look at some passages now. In recent years, the concept of attention economy has come to dominate discussions around social media. Platforms are designed to maximize user engagement, leveraging algorithms that serve personalized, emotionally triggering content to keep users scrolling. Okay, this is a discussion about algorithm. An idea is being introduced here. Okay, as a result, okay, something happened in this line. As a result, many users find themselves caught in endless loops of consumption, often at the cost of real world focus, sleep, and mental health well-being. Okay, so we know that they're leveraging algorithms in a personalized and emotionally triggering content so that maximum scroll time can be drawn. Maybe something the same idea is being carried even in this line too. That is why as a result we see that endless loop of consumption that is being discussed. So same idea is being carried in this second line. Let's see the options. Advertisers use influencers to reach more people across. No, nothing about influencers or advertisements. This model rewards content that is not necessarily informative but highly engaging and emotionally charged. Yes, this is something which is following that, right? So as a result, there is an endless loop of scrolling. Yes, people often install apps only to reinstall them again within few days. No, right? As a result, that is the a line you have to keep in mind while choosing the option. Studies show that scrolling through social media can sometimes be relaxing. No, if this is the thing, no, that is not building on the earlier statement which has been mentioned, right? So option B is the one which is building on that, right? Yeah. Right, you can see that A introduces unrelated marketing idea, C is an effect but doesn't explain the mechanism, D offers counterpoint and lacks the link, right? Yeah, let's look at one more model. As the world grapples with climate change, the idea of a circular economy is gaining traction. Unlike the traditional linear model of take, make, dispose, the circular approach aims to reduce waste and keep products and materials in use as long as possible. Okay, so we are talking about reuse here. Okay, circular economy is the concept. Okay, fine. This model not only conserves natural resource but also encourages innovation in product design and promotes long-term economic resilience. Okay, nothing contrary is being said because the same idea is being emphasized again, so nothing contrary could come here. Maybe something that expands on what is being said here, right? Keep products and material as long as possible. Okay, let's look at the options now. Guys, if you feel that this explanation is too fast or anything, just comment below the video, okay? And you can always pause and look at the screen. There is a detailed explanation that I have given in the PPT, okay? Yeah. This can be seen in recycling programs in many urban neighborhoods. It relies heavily on government funding to support new businesses. It includes strategies like recycling, reusing. Okay, we are talking about something that's, let's look at the passage again. This model, okay, this model is not only conserves natural resources but also encourages innovation. Okay, so we are talking about a model here essentially. Okay, this can be seen in recycling. It relies heavily. It has been adopted more quickly in developed countries. But what is that? It is not being discussed, right? It has been, okay, in the previous sentence they are introducing this concept of circular economy, and they are saying it should be revolving, but it has been adopted more quickly in developed countries due to better infrastructure. No, this is not what the next lines try to deliver. This can be seen in recycling programs in many urban neighborhoods, but nothing about urban neighborhoods is being discussed again. It relies heavily on government funding to support, but nothing about government is being spoken again in the passage, spoken again. It includes strategies like recycling, reusing, refurbishing, and designing for durability. Yeah, this is something which seems more appropriate, right? I think C should be the answer. Let's look. Yeah. Princey gives a comprehensive logic and how the circular economy operates, which smoothly leads to its benefits being discussed in the next passage. A is too narrow and example based. B introduces new unsupported idea. D distracts with geographical focus, doesn't match the flow. Okay, let's look at next passage. In group settings, people often conform to the opinions or behaviors of others, even when they privately disagree. Yeah, even when they privately disagree, in group they do conform. This phenomena was known as groupthink. Nice, okay. Can suppress dissent and lead to flawed decisions, especially in high stakes environment like corporate boards or government panels. Okay, to counteract this, experts suggest encouraging open dialogue, appointing a devil's advocate, and creating a culture where questioning dominant views is safe. Okay, they want to create a culture where questioning dominant views is safe. Okay, the line before the blank is, this can be flawed, it can lead to flawed decisions in high stake environments like corporate boards and government panels. Okay, to counteract this. Okay, this is something which is building on this. Okay, this is something which is building on this. That is why he says that to counteract this. Okay, let's see the options. Sometimes individuals speak up despite the risk of backlash. No, if that happens, then there is no need of appointment of devil's advocate, right? Groupthink is a rare occurrence in democratic societies. No, this is a complete new idea. In such cases, critical thinking and alternative perspectives are often sidelined. Yeah, in favor of consequences. Because these are being sidelined, there is a need for devil's advocate to be appointed. This seems like the appropriate one. Let's see, look at other one also. Theories about group behavior have been studied since early 20th century. No, this is completely out of the scope of the passage. I think C is very, very clear here. Yeah. Yeah, we can see central argument, anecdotal contradicts the implied frequency, breaks the flow. Yes. Okay. Let's look at one more passage. Okay. Educational inequality remains a pressing issue in many countries where students from low income backgrounds often lack access to quality teaching, learning material and digital tools. Okay, while policymakers have introduced schemes such as free textbooks and midday meals to improve school retention, learning outcomes still lag significantly. Okay, so this is the thing, in low income groups there is always lack of quality teaching, learning material and digital tools. Even though some schemes are being implemented, academically they are lacking a lot. Okay, dash addressing such disparities. Okay, some disparities are being, okay, this builds on this. Addressing such disparities requires systemic investment in teacher training, infrastructure and localized support tailored to specific regional needs. Okay, here some negative effects are being discussed, some negatives about low income background. Here also something similar is being discussed. That is why addressing such disparities requires systematic investment. Okay, try to approach this way, guys. Okay, I am thinking out loud so that you will understand my flow of thought. Okay, these programs have boosted enrollment rates but fail to reduce learning gaps. Yes, that is there, but addressing this issue, see, oh, addressing such disparities, so we have to look for disparities. Okay, let's look at these options. These programs have boosted enrollment rates but fail to reduce learning gaps. Yes, that is a continuation that we can see. Children in private schools typically outperform those in government schools. Yeah, this is a disparity, but private skills is a new concept here. It is entirely being discussed about low income groups and how the government is failing to reduce the learning gap. Many students now offer online classes to, no, this is completely out of this one. Poor students often have to walk, even this is not one of the disparities that is being discussed there. Okay, these programs have boosted enrollment rate, yeah, but fail to reduce learning gaps. This should be the disparity on which the next sentence is building. Let's see. Okay, existing schemes to concluding deep. Okay, B is true, but it doesn't link with the flow of initiatives and solutions. Yeah, this is true, but it doesn't link with the flow of initiatives. C introduces a digital aspect, and D is a symptom that doesn't bridge efforts with future needs. Right? Okay. Yeah. Now let's start one more. You must have heard about para jumbles. If you have done your practice on indoor and Rohtak, I think you're familiar with questions of para jumbles. This is nothing but a passage is given, but the sentences of the passages, they are just jumbled. You have to arrange them in the right logical order of. Okay. Let's look at the definition. Just they present a set of jumbled sentences, and you have to rearrange them in the coherent and logical order. Okay. Sometimes you will get a set of 4, and sometimes you'll get a set of 6. Sometimes even the 1 and 6 and starting and the ending sentence are fixed. You just have to rearrange the middle ones. Sometimes you have to rearrange the whole set. The patterns which you can see in these para jumbles are, one is you can mind the chronological flow, the events happening, cause and effect, general to specific. See, you can also say specific to general, but that is not the common style. Generally, it goes from general to specific. Problem to solution, question to answer. It's just, that way. Intro, supporting, conclusion. This is the logical flow they have to. See, if they consider all the writing styles of all authors, then there would be no logical sequence. Okay, this is like the format that you have to keep in mind. General to specific, not specific to general, or answer to question, question to answer. That's how it goes. It should go. Okay. Yeah. So generally, we have opening sentences. Okay, something that introduces the topic. Something that introduces this topic. It won't start with he or it or this. Okay, that's not how an introductory statement opens, right? Because it always he or it or this, that they would refer to the already stated thing. So that can't be the first sentence. And then you can have some mandatory pairs, like they have logical follow to each other. They have connectors, pronouns, and logical flow. And then you have transition words. However, they were thus. Okay, with the help of transition words also you can connect logical pairs. And then of course you can use subject, pronouns, and articles. And you can eliminate the illogical sequence, right? Let's just do some questions, then you will understand. Okay, some things that you have to avoid is something that just sounds too good, okay, or ignoring reference words, not checking is it a noun pronoun if they are in the agreement or not, or assuming every sentence has one obvious opener. Don't do this. Okay, if you really search for the right opener, you will get one. Okay, so let's look at this one. So this is actually pretty easy because this is the first one. I wanted it to be pretty easy. Let's look at the sentences. The Industrial Revolution marked a major turning point. Okay, can this be the starting sentence? Yes, because this is introducing something, right? The Industrial Revolution. It began in Great Britain. See, when it comes, do you think it can be the starting sentence? No, but it definitely refers to something said in the previous sentence, right? Machines replaced manual labor, transforming economies. The revolution also impacted agriculture and transportation. So, what began in 18th century? Industrial revolution. So, it refers to this. Machines replaced manual labor, transforming economies. The revolution also impacted. Okay, so what is the revolution is it talking about? It's talking about how manual labor got replaced, right? So this is the revolution it's talking about. So A and B, they form the logical pair, and C and D, they form the logical pair, and it's very obvious that after A, B, C, D comes into the picture. So the answer should be A, B, C, D, right? Okay, we do have options. Yeah, A should be the appropriate response. Yeah, right? So this is easy one. So let's look at other ones. Yeah, so now let's look at this passage. Okay. Okay, first sentence says true innovation often requires stepping into unknown where failure is a real possibility. This looks like a starting sentence. Yet those who embrace the risk of failure often find the greatest success. Yet is being used, so this cannot be the starting sentence. Fear of failure prevents many people from trying something new. Okay. Innovation by its very nature challenges conventional boundaries. Even this looks like a starting sentence. It is this willingness. Yeah, this is not it can't make a starting sentence. So we have D and A. Let's try to pick one and build on that. Let's try to pick D and C. Okay, innovation by its very nature challenges conventional boundaries. Okay, fear of failure prevents many people from trying something new. Yeah, in D and A we can see that innovation is being discussed, right? True innovation often requires stepping into the unknown where failure is a real possibility. Okay, so C and A, they are related, and D and A also seem a bit close. Then we have yet those who embrace the risk of failure find the greatest success. So this is like B follows A, right? A and B, they are logical. B follows A, that is why. And it is this willingness of the it is this willingness to the experiment that separates leaders from followers. So, which willingness? This willingness, right? The willingness that is mentioned in B. So, A, B, E, they form a logical order. Let's check where do we have that option. We have it in C, okay? Yeah, and D seems like the starting one. Let's look if C fits here. Fear of failure prevents many people from trying it. True innovation, yeah, this fits. See, this is one of the passages where you may find that there are many sentences which look like the starting sentence. Then what you can do is try to decipher the logical pair first and look for the options. Look in the options, where do you find it, and then check with the first sentence, and if it goes well, just go. Don't think too much. Okay, these are some there are some passages which are a bit vague, which are not exactly cause effect kind, so you can try to follow the strategy when it comes to this. Okay, so option C would be your answer. Yeah, right. Yeah, let's look at one more passage now. Okay, we have options here. Okay, now let's look at this passage. Several studies have linked excessive screen time with feelings of anxiety and depression. Okay, this looks like a starting sentence. Despite its benefits, whose benefits? Okay, social media. Social media has raised concerns about its impact on mental health. Fine. Algorithms tend to amplify emotionally charged content, making it difficult to disengage. This addictive behavior, we don't know which addictive behavior. These findings have prompted calls for responsible digital consumption. The most vulnerable group. Okay. Okay, here's about social media we are discussing. Making it see. This addictive design. Okay, this addictive design. Okay, what is the addictive design? Algorithms tend to amplify emotionally charged content, making it difficult to disengage. So C and D builds on C, so that they would be a logical pair here. Several studies have linked excessive screen time with feelings of anxiety and depression. The most vulnerable users. Okay, we have findings and we have studies. So obviously A and E builds on A. Okay, E builds on A. She means highly influenced by online. Okay. After C and D, we should get A and E, right? Okay. So because this is about social media, I think the starting sentence should be the introduction of social media, right? So B could be something like it introduces the idea. That is why, see, even in options you have B, 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 right? So let's just check with this, okay? You should have first one as B, and after C and D you should have A and E. Let's just check the options likewise. We have B, B, B. We have C, D. No, we don't have this. We have A first and then we have C, D, so you can't be this. B is not the starting. Yeah, we have C, D, we have A and D. Even though F comes in between, I think this would be the more closer answer than any of this. A should be your answer if you look at that. Just try to arrange the things in logical sequence first. Okay, sometimes a sentence might not fit, but don't think too much when it comes to para jumbles. Use logic, use the coherence. Okay, yeah, and F, the most vulnerable teenagers. Yeah, I think you can fit that between A and E, right? Yeah. Let's look at the answer. Yeah. A is the answer. B sets up central idea. C and D describe the mechanism. A presents findings. F specifies at risk group, and E wraps up the call to action. Yeah. So by that logic, you can try to find this. Yeah. Always look for introductory ideas, pronoun differences, logical flow connectors. Okay, these are your quick tips. Thank you for watching these videos, guys. Let's discuss some more grammar type questions in the next videos. Okay, bye.